shooting percentage.
All right. We do have Michael Carter-Williams now, so let's go to the phone lines. We'll table this discussion for this segment as we bring in former Cuse star and played a decade in the NBA, now serving as a studio analyst and a game analyst on the ACC network. Michael Carter-Williams, our guest on the show. Thanks so much for coming on. How you been?
Good. How are you?
We're doing great. We're doing great. Paul, you want to kick us off here?
Mike, how did you end up in this job? Like, because all of a sudden I'm sitting here one day and like Michael Carter-Williams is hired by the ACC networks. What led you to this position and how did it come about?
Well, to be honest, I was doing the Orlando Magic radio games, and I was doing a lot of it was just a lot of in-game stuff, and I was having fun. It's good. I still do it from time to time, but then I was like, I want to see what it's like in the studio. So I started doing some research on what gigs can I get in the studio. I did some NBA TV stuff, and then ESPN had reached out, and I was supposed to go in for an interview with ESPN, but then we had the bad storm in Florida, so I couldn't go. So I actually missed my interview, and then one day they called and they're like, "Listen, we don't even want to do the interview process. We've got some of your film. We'd love to, offer you to do some ACC network stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Now, Jim Boeheim, your former coach, is in a similar role. Have you chatted with him at all about either the job or all things basketball? You still keep in touch with Coach Boeheim?
Yeah, I actually talked to him the other day on air. It was good. He was doing I can't remember which game he was doing, but him and I we spoke. We caught up a little bit. So it's cool to see him on the other side of this world.
Yeah, He hated that side of the world for about 4 years.
Now I think he likes it now. It seems like he likes it. All right, so put your analyst hat on here, and maybe your stethoscope as well. Diagnose what's going on with SU basketball. What do you make of what you've seen of late from the Orange?
Obviously we've had some tough luck with some injuries. Freeman being out, JJ being out for a while, I think that really hurt us, and it was hard for us to catch a rhythm. So now you're kind of going through the same thing, right? Freeman being out, I'm looking forward to us full strength. I thought JJ coming back, I thought he gave, just an energy boost to the whole, program. It was looking real spooky for us for a little while, and then, we ran off 2 in a row. So, we'll see. I don't have, major high hopes for Syracuse right now. But, you can see the bright spots.
With that being said, as you look at the future, with Adrian Autry as the coach, you look at the freshmen they've got coming in. Do you think brighter days are ahead? And I know you played when Red was here. I mean, do you look at him as being the guy? He's come under fire here a little bit locally with some of the fans and some of our listeners. Do you think he's the right guy to lead this program forward?
Honestly, I do. I loved Coach Autry when I was there. I think he's a great coach. I think he coaches the right way. I saw him, kind of single-handedly develop Jeremy Grant from, a guy that was coming in who just had amazing athletic ability to, showing him what hard work is and, how to get to the next level. So I know the coaching is to me, the coaching isn't the problem. There's been some times where I'm like, well, maybe this guy could have played, maybe this guy could have played, but that happens to every coach, at some point in their career, right? And it's still early for him. I think we have guys coming in, right? We got Sadiq coming in, we got Kyan coming in, Luke Filano and Aaron, right? Those guys will come in and be, good pieces to our team, right? If I don't know what's, hopefully JJ comes back, hopefully Freeman comes back too, and I don't know if he will. He probably, he might leave, but if we get those guys back, the future is bright for Syracuse. I think it's only up from here, to be honest.
You talk about whether or not guys will come back, and that's the new day of college athletics, right? The NIL, and everybody's a free agent in the offseason, and you almost have to re-recruit the guys you already have in the program, different from when you were here. Paulie brought this up earlier in the show about, and we talked to Atan Thomas yesterday. We said, Atan, hypothetically speaking, like you didn't play a ton as a freshman, you're behind Otis Hill. Would you have come back as a sophomore? Paulie said, let's ask Michael Carter-Williams the same question. Can you put yourself in that situation after your freshman year, like if that was, if NIL and free agency was a thing back then, do you think you would have come back to SU, or do you think you would have gone elsewhere?
That's a good question. At times and moments, I was definitely frustrated with not playing my freshman year. But at the end of the day, I was a young kid. We were 30, and we ended up 30-3. Like, I really didn't have room to be like, I should be playing when we were undefeated. It just, as a kid, I was upset, obviously, because I wasn't playing. But the rhyme or reason was, we were really, really good. And, I threatened Boeheim a few times. I'm going to leave. I'm transferring. And obviously it's a different story then, but I had the keys to the car, coming into my sophomore year. So it would have been really hard for me to leave. I don't know. I guess the leverage play for guys now is, hit the transfer portal and or say you're going to hit the transfer portal to, get the most money out of your college and, come back. I don't know. But, I truly think I would have came back. I had, from my outside life off the court, I had a lot of great things going on with, friends, and then I was close to family. I think I would have came back.
Do you think that time, like going through that your freshman year, do you think that helped you in your NBA career to, just the way that you carved out a decade-long career in the NBA. Not too many guys could do that, and you worked hard, and sometimes it looked like maybe your career was over and you'd find a way to get back on a team and revitalize your career. Do you think that time helped you be able to do that at the next level?
Yeah, I've said this before, too. I think my freshman year was the most important year of basketball in my life. It taught me, adversity. It taught me that things aren't going to always go my way. It taught me how to work through some adversity, right? Like, I'm not playing. What is the alternative that I can keep bettering myself? And I think all the success from my sophomore year, it actually came from my freshman year, competing every day in practice against Neon, Scoop, and Brandon, and Chris Joe, and, all those guys. It prepared me for the next season and ultimately prepared me to get to the NBA.
All right, let's look around the ACC now. That is your job now, right? You got to analyze the conference as a whole. I guess let's start at the top with Duke. Everybody has a bad night, but I think it's getting to a point where you look at them and you say, man, they might not lose a conference game. I mean, how good is this team compared to other great teams you've seen in the past?
Yeah, I think they went out. To be honest, they have one tough game. It's a non-conference game, but I think they do. I think they went out in the ACC. They're really good, man. They've got all the pieces. They've got shooters. They got guys coming off the bench. The big guy down low is good. Obviously, they have Cooper, and they're all playing well. And defensively, they're so long. Like they're definitely, to me, they're Final Four bound for sure. They're in there for me.
They've got Illinois, the non-conference game that you were talking about. They've got them coming up in about a month. That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one that I'll be interested to see. If they can win that game, I think they win out.
All right, how about that? Yeah, go ahead,
I wanted to stick on Duke. Cooper Flag. Well, how does could you just describe that kid, and where does he compare to like other freshmen you've seen play college basketball?
Yeah, I think the thing that sticks out to me, like we've seen all this, like we've seen a bunch of talent, come in as freshmen, and for me, the thing that separates him from the rest is just he does all the little things out there, right? Like he's a guy that can create his own shot and score at any time, but he'll also hustle to get an offensive rebound and a putback, or he'll have a chase down block, or he'll get a steal here and there. Like he does the gritty work, but he also is the star on the team, which you don't really see too often at his age. And it really seems like he's figured out the game at a young age, and which is the most impressive thing about him. Like you see a lot of guys, and you're like, man, once he figures it out, he's going to be unstoppable. But him, it's like he already has figured it out, and he's doing what he's doing, obviously, and he's unselfish. Like he had 42 one night, then comes back the next night in a blowout win, and only has about I think he had 13 or 15, but he was getting guys involved. He had 5 assists right in the beginning of the game. Like he's doing everything.
All right, I think we all agree Duke is head and shoulders the best team in this conference. You look at that next tier, Clemson, Louisville, Wake Forest, UNC, maybe throw SMU in there. Who's the next best team in this conference after Duke?
I think it's Louisville. They're on fire right now. Pat Kelsey's been doing a great job with them. they seem like they have a lot of pieces to the puzzle. I think Clemson and Louisville are, to me, they fight for that second spot, but I think Louisville looks better. I think defensively they're talented. Chuck has been playing really, really well. And they got guys, right? They got what's his name? The shooter. What is his name? I can't remember his name.
I mean,
the shooter.
You talking about Louisville? I mean, they've got the point guard and Chucky Hepburn, who's been great. You talking about Louisville?
Chucky, I'm talking about Louisville. Chucky Hepburn. They got the shooter who's
Smith,
they
right?
love him over there. Smith. Every time he shoots the ball, right? Everyone thinks it's going in. They got Hadley, who's had a couple big games. Edwards Jr.'s had a couple big games. So, they got a lot of guys over there. And defensively, Pat Kelsey's got them. They got the dogs are out over there.
Yeah. Very impressive, especially the showing the other night inside the Dome. And I guess as we wrap things up here, do you have any sort of message to the Cuse fans here, either about your playing time here or just
what's going on,
or just what's going on now? Any sort of message to Orange Nation?
It's always much love for me for Orange Nation. I love the fans there. They were so great to me and my family. I'm gonna start showing face a little bit more, coming to the games and being acclimated with Syracuse and the culture there. I look forward to doing that and miss and love everybody and go Cuse always.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on, and best of luck with this new job. And we look forward to seeing you more, and we look forward to seeing you back here inside the Dome, in the not too distant future.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys.
All right. Michael Carter-Williams, our guest here on the show. Paulie?
He's got pipes on him.
He does. He's got a voice for this business.